Hey guys, Kev here, and I just wanted to, give you a little behind the scenes look. So I just opened this package. It's from a customer of Divo knives. Well, actually, they bought this knife on the secondary, and he says he cannot get it centered, and it has play no matter what. I think I talked to him via email and gave him some tips. Like I thought maybe the pivot cap was loose. That's something that can happen on Bestech made knives. They don't tend to red Loctite that properly or glue it properly, even when we ask. And then I thought maybe there's a washer missing in there, and that would kind of make sense because you can see it's well off center, but yet it's kind of tight. I don't know. I haven't really looked at it yet. It just came out of the box. I just took his paper out with his info because I didn't want to share that. He bought it secondary, so the note said, hey, if you can't fix it, and the guy screwed it up and sent it to me, then, it is what it is. But that is not acceptable for us at Divo Knives. It doesn't matter where you buy your Divo. We're going to help you take care of it. So let's figure this out. We have some skiffs here in a package, which is interesting. So he said this is all the stuff that came in the box, right? So this is how we got it, I presume. There's bearings in there, I see. And then there's 4 stock style bearings here, 2 skiffs there. They're all the same. They're all 5mm 1/16. So are the little Ziploc. We have what looks to be an extra hardware set, which I must have sent because we didn't include a hardware set with these. And the weird thing is it's black, where the knife is satin. So I don't know I can't remember if he asked for hardware to try to fix it, or if maybe the person before him did. They wanted to see what it would look like with black hardware. Or maybe it's from another stout. I don't know. There's a wire clip for satin, a wire clip for black. A lot of stuff here. So let's just try to figure this out. Let's take the driver. First thing I'm going to do is see if this pivot is tight. And interestingly, it feels, yeah, it's tight. And yet we're off like that. So yeah, I can tell you right off the bat, this knife did not ship that way. Normally I'm not that type of person that's like, that QC problem never would have, whatever. But in this case, I mean, it's blatantly obvious there's something wrong with this knife. And there's no way this would have got past us as is. So, yeah, I think somebody took this apart and forgot a washer. That's all I can think of because I don't know what else would cause that. Did I just strip that or no? Okay. Still getting used to this new bit from Wera. It's interesting. It kind of sticks into the screw and holds it. But not that one, apparently. But we didn't strip it. Plus I have hardware. It's not a big deal. But usually it sticks into said screw. See if I can show you. Yeah, it's not working with these Bestech ones. I guess they're a little bit larger than you usually see. I'm going to take this fully apart, I think. Not just take it off the front or this back scale. I'm going to take the inlay out too, so we'll see what's going on here. So there's the inlay. Pop this open and get this off. Okay, so we have a washer here. We have bearing there. And we do have a washer in here. Interesting. Very strange. Okay. I am intrigued by this. This is a right-handed knife, yes. Okay. That's good, because I have more parts for right-handed knives. I see the problem. I have never seen this. Oh, no, I don't. Sorry, I'm just talking out my ass. I thought I saw the stop pin was shifted. I was going to say, I haven't seen that on a Bestech one before. But that stop pin looks pretty centered, so that's not it. There's got to be something going on with the pivot. It's got to be the, yep, that's it. Go ahead and zoom in here, Kev. You see this? The pivot cap, this is what I'm talking about with the pivot cap. It's loose. So you see how there's that space right there? This should be tightened down. So let's zoom out. Let's try it. See if that fixes this problemo for us. Make sure that's nice and tight. Yeah, it's always the first thing I tell people to check, but it can be difficult to check sometimes. It's hard to tell if you're spinning it or not. It's always better to take it apart when you're testing for that. I'm going to take this apart again and clean it and everything. I'm going to put those skiffs in for him because why wouldn't I? I think he only put the stock bearings back in because I probably told him to test it that way or something. And I apologize. I can't remember the entire conversation. I don't know when it was either. I deal with all the warranty stuff. See that one? The screw is stuck onto the bit. That's what that driver is supposed to do, which is really neat, I think. But you got to come at it head on, and you got to put pressure in to make sure it sticks, Otherwise, it is easier to cam out than... let me see if I can just test it like this. So now, no play. Action's good, and we are centered. Once I put this scale on, it'll probably look perfect. So, cool. That was an easy one. So I'm going to go ahead and take this apart, clean it up, put it back together with the skiffs. You guys want to check that out? You're more than welcome to stay tuned in. I just like to share these warranty type stories sometimes. Sometimes they're this simple, What I'm going to do is, well, I'm hoping he didn't want that black hardware installed, but if he did, shouldn't be a problem. He should be able to, install it. So just going to make sure that D-shape is on this end. I'm going to clean this off. I really wish it was more of an issue with the first batch, which this is from the first batch because it's the blue, the Arctic. So, yeah. Ooh, I have a cool idea too. I think I have like just a set or two left of 80s camo carbon scales for these. I think it would be cool to give him a set. But I'll probably put it together the way it was, and then if he wants to switch it up, he can. But I'm going to include that. I'm going to include an 80s set with it for him. Just because I have them. Why not? All right, so I need to tighten that down. The best way, in my opinion, as you guys know, I'm a big super glue guy. Best way to keep this from loosening again is to use some super glue like so. And the only thing you got to pay attention to is once you tighten it, make sure you tighten it all the way down quickly and you get it set where you want it. I want it tight, and that makes it easy. And then just let that sit. That's going to cure pretty much instantly. I put a little more than I wanted in there, and I did that on purpose because, well, I don't want that to come loose ever, really. So that's done. Let me take a look at these washers, clean those up. Looks like maybe this one got reversed at some point because you can see this one looks like it's got a little bit of like a contour on the top. This one looks flat. So if I flip this over, it's probably going to give me that rounded side. Yeah, see that rounded? It's more contoured on that side. I'm gonna put that back. That might fix that last 10% of centering that I noticed that I wasn't gonna say anything about. I'm OCD, all right? Don't hold it against me. All right. That's all clean. Blade is, let me just clean that up too. Looking good though. Clean out a detent hole just because I'm here. Okay. So this is going to go through this one first. We're going to set it like that so it's flat. Now I want to be careful because I got to turn it a little bit. I do not want to loosen it off of that barrel at all, right? I want it to stay where I just glued it. It should be cured by now, but you never know. Now sometimes this happens with this pen. It's the best super glue dispenser I've found, but sometimes that happens. So I'll usually just take a piece of paper or something, wipe that off, and then quickly get my cap on so it doesn't happen. The first, quarter of the glue stick, that can happen. It'll leak a little bit because there's a lot in there. And then you just want to be careful and tighten this down just enough till it's like down at the bottom here. Don't crank it tight because sometimes if that super glue is leaking out the top, you'll literally glue the cap on. And if you have it tight, well, it's a bitch to get off because then when you loosen it, you'll actually loosen off this top part that is dispensing it. And if you have that, then you're kind of like screwed. You got to get this cap off somehow. So I like to just leave that cap a little loose to be safe. All right. Skiffs. Where'd they go? Oh, here. Can tell these were in the knife because they're not bright phosphor bronze anymore. They have that dark color you get after they go in a knife. They've been oiled, whatever. Just gonna clean those up, make sure they're rolling okay. Make sure they rolling. Okay, clean. Those are free, and those are free. They feel great. All right, I'm gonna grab my oils that I want. I don't have room right here right now to put that. Oh, let me move it over. All right, this tray and all this stuff is from Tinker Force. They make 3D printed stuff like this. It's the best tray I've found. A lot of people like the metal ones. I have a metal tray from Sky Raider knives, and it's awesome. It's sexy, all of that stuff. Good for Instagram, right? But I tend to drop shit. So if you're holding your knife and you drop it on here, you're just bouncing off a cork. If I hit this, I'm not going to chip his blade, right? If I hit the aluminum, yeah, I'm chipping the blade. I've done it before. This blade's nice and sharp. I don't want to mess it up. You know what I mean? So I'm going to take the heavy oil. This is from Carbon Honey. I really like Carbon Honey. Big fan of their stuff. I've talked about this before, so I'll shut up. Just want a dot. I don't want a shit ton. That's the thick. And then I take the medium. They put a little ball bearing in there that you can, let me see if I can show you. That you shake, which is pretty cool. So I put some on my finger, decent amount, and then I take the bearings, whoops, roll it around, then I flip it over, roll it around some more, drop it again, take the other one, in the meantime, I will take the blade and I will drop that on. I cleaned up the stop pin tracks just because I wanted to. Flip that over. It's rolling so well, it's kind of just rolling right over on my fingies here. Drop that one in. Okay, we're good. Wipe my hands. Yeah, that oil is fantastic. Super slick, man. That shit will make any knife smoother, trust me. All right, now I got to make sure that D shape is face down like it is. Make sure this one, obviously the D shape's on the bottom of that pivot. Make sure that's all good. Check my insert looks good. And then I'm just going to press it down and then slot it on, okay? Now what you want to do is take your pivot, which now, you know, it shouldn't be loosening your pivot cap anyway. But just make sure that D shape is in there so that doesn't happen. And then try not to cam out. I think I'm going to replace that screw anyway just because it has some scratches on it. But I'm just testing right now because I haven't installed the skiffs yet in this sucker. So that all sounds good. Centering is perfect. Ooh, yeah, no detent lash at all. Usually there's like a little bit, you know, which I hate, but there's none there. Drop in our body screws. Again, with this driver, I'm getting used to it. You really want to be head on, and then you want to push and put pressure in so you don't cam out. It requires a little more patience, but it's nicer for certain applications, especially if you need a screw to go somewhere specific and it needs to go down or this way or that way. If it sticks to the head, it's a lot easier than when it just falls off every time you turn, you know. We'll tighten this down after because we just need to hold that side while we do it. Put the clip in, drop this sucker in there. Again, put that straight on pressure in. Tighten it down so you got stuck in there. No taps. I'm going to hold this screw and see if I can get it to catch. Nope. All right, this one tight. This one tight. Tight. So I just need my finger bit here. And I'm going to take that and on the side without the clip, because this clip is going to be in the way, I'm going to put this in, and then I'm going to use my hand to lock it down. That's why the finger bit is amazing. You want to get these at skiffworkshop.com. Use code LeftyEDC for 10% off. They're like 15, 20 bucks, aluminum, really nice, and that is going to allow me to tighten that. Okay, so now we're fully assembled. We're dead nut centered. We have no lash. We have our skiffs in there. We have lockup. Looks good. And we have action that I expect. This detent is freaking fabulous. Yeah, this knife is really good. Well done by Best Tech on the execution of our designs. This is in Vanex, by the way. This is such a good knife. I love the V2 Stout. It's just, you know, it was a little expensive, $375, and I think that's why, you know, people, you know, we sold a lot of them, but it didn't sell as hot as some of our knives. But check out Traditional Pocket Knives. They have this knife in the 80s. And the Glow and the Watermelon Sugar. I think they still have some of each. I think they have some lefties too. And they had them on sale last week for like $100 off or something. So if you've been interested in this, Vanex Super Clean with titanium, beautiful deep hollow grind, belt satin. You know, if you like 80s Watermelon Sugar or just a, you know, Glow. It's fat carbon, dark matter, so it just looks like carbon, really nice carbon. And then if you hit it with a light at night, in the dark, it'll glow. But you don't have to do that. And then it's PVD on that one. But anyway, really nice now. So I'm going to go ahead and find this screw, and I'm going to grab those scales. Oh, you know what I didn't think about? The pivot collar, but we're going to see here in a second. So I'll be right back. Okay, so turns out it's the last set I have. So don't come hitting me up. But I do have a set of 80s righty scales here. So hopefully he likes 80s. If he doesn't, that's fine. Maybe he can sell them to one of you guys. But the blue collar actually works because it's blue, and there's blue in here. I have a set of orange and a set of pink, but I want to save those for any warranty issues. So just to be safe, I'm going to save those. And I think this matches anyway well enough that if I got it, I wouldn't be upset about it. Especially considering it's, free. Why? I don't know. I like people, and he seems like a nice guy, so why not? So I have that, and then I'm also going to give him a hardware set here. I'm going to go ahead and swap out that pivot screw, and I'm going to Loctite this, and then he can choose if he wants to mess with it further. He can do that. To swap the scales, he won't need to take the pivot out, so that's why I'm going to Loctite it. So we don't have to worry about that part, or he doesn't have to worry about that part. So this will give him an extra, everything basically. So if he needs it in the future, he has it. All right, so let's take this out. Drop that. And this one's fresh, clean, no oil on it or anything. Let me clean this out. Grab a T6 and just drive it in there. Oh yeah, that was nasty. All right, I'm going to use Loctite because that's what I should do. Shouldn't use the super glue, especially if he might take this apart at some point. And I'm just going to put a little bit. I'm not going crazy, so if he needs to take it out, he's not going to have to fight too hard with it. Tighten it down. We're dead centered. Fires out. No play, no rock. Swings. And oh my God. Dude, this example is absolute money. I mean, it's freaking nice. So, dude, if you watch this, I'm sending you these scales. And if you want to swap them, it's easy, just in case you're not aware. All you're going to need to do is take out the clip. Remove that, take off this screw and this screw. Leave the pivot where it is. That'll keep the knife together. Do one side at a time. Don't take all these out and all these out at once, because then the bottom will want to kind of pop apart. It might already want to do that a little bit, so it's best to just, do one side at a time. But take those 3 screws out, take off the scale, drop this one on, and then put those 3 screws back in, tighten them down. Flip the knife over, take these 3 screws out, take off the scale, put this one on, tighten them back down, and you're good to go. I would recommend you use a finger bit style tool, something to help you keep this side from loosening when you're loosening this side, and vice versa. So if you use something like this or another driver, you could even just use a bit and hold it. You could take it like this, put the bit in, and then maybe just hold it like this, just to give it enough pressure on that side that when you loosen this, when you break it free, it doesn't spin this side out too, because sometimes it makes it hard to get the screws out. But the finger bit's the best tool for the job. I think that's it. I mean, that pretty much covers how you would, do that. Oh, I did want to do one thing for you as well, because I think it always looks a little nicer. A little tip for people: get yourself some Wicked Wax. You could use mineral oil. You could use olive oil. You can use whatever oil you want. This is 100% food safe, all organic. It's basically beeswax, but it's Wicked Wax. And you just take a little bit, like just get your finger in there a little bit and rub that into the fat carbon or camo carbon, whichever. And it really gives it a nice pop, a nice shine. And you might have to do this, twice before it like really stays in there for a little bit. And then you just apply it every once in a while when you see it dry out. But camo carbon comes, dry. So once you add that color or that wax, it really pops. Like, look at the difference here. Hopefully you can see the difference. This one's like grayish looking, even when I catch the light, right? It still looks good, but this one, it gives it a look where it kind of looks wet. Hopefully it comes through. In person, it's a big difference in my opinion. So I always like to do this. It's nice to be able to do it before you put the scale on, so that it's just easier. You don't have to try to work around a clip or something. Here's a good way to see the difference. So look at this up here, and then check it in a second. Oh yeah, you can't really tell on camera, can you? Still looks kind of gray, but to me it looks jet black in those areas. Looks amazing. Like here's the back, and there's the front. Anyway, there's no reason to do this side. I'm just doing it because I'm a maniac. And sometimes just doing this to kind of clean the carbon is good. You can see I'm getting black stuff on my finger. That can be from the machining, from the carbon. I kind of wish OEMs would do this. I wish they had a way to like give it an oil bath or something during the process. I don't expect them to take every piece and like rub it in like this, but it also works on fat carbon. So I can take a little bit and rub it into this stuff too. Looks good as well. And this is what I mean by working around the clip. You got to kind of get your finger to get around it, and then you don't get the part under the clip. Not that it matters, but so that's the process. I just call it wetting the carbon, getting that carbon wet, if you know what I mean. Put these in here. So I'll send this back to you, buddy, and I'll send this baby back too. Probably gonna wipe it down a little bit because I got that wax on there. But as you guys can see, the knife is looking good, and the action is money now. Dead centered, locked up, all that good stuff. So pretty easy fix. I'm going to go ahead and give him this screw back, even though it's scratched a little bit. If he ever loses that one, he's still going to be happy he has that. And I guess he's going to have 6 extra random bearings. And all this other stuff. So we can put all that in here. And then that in there. We'll put the scales in here. Put the knife in here. The Loctite will cure overnight before I ship it. And I will get this off to him. I'll probably put a cloth in there too. But there we go. That's a little behind the scenes on how we roll with warranty work. You know, hopefully you guys don't have a problem. But if you do, we will do what we can to take care of it. And yeah, I love you guys. I appreciate all the support. We at Divo appreciate you guys so much. You guys investing your money and time into Divo knives is amazing, and we appreciate every customer, whether you are a direct customer or not. So, love you guys. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you later. Peace.